Whitesboro Plow Shop, Dirt Car 358 Modified Feature Go. Ready to rock and roll, and it is Brian Hudson on the point in the 621, along with the 27W Nick Webb. Row number 2, it's RJ Tercenter in the 21-3, Franklin Mackin. Row number 3, Scott Webb in the 18W, 36, Dan Bichard. Row 4, Derek Webb, the 66W, Lance Willix, the 31. Row 5, Billy Dunn, the 49, 19 to Tim Fuller. Tyler Meeks in the 974, Lucas Fuller alongside. Row number 7, Larry Welling Jr. in the 21, JR, along with the 45, Preston Forbes. Brian Bartlett in the 39 starts 15th. Sean Shaw in the 7S starts 16th, and Andy Howard will complete it in spot number 17. Since that is where we are going to fire from. The Bob Johnson Auto Group Can-Am Speedway Pace Truck heads to the pits in turn number 3. Off of turn 4, the Whitesboro Plow Shop Dirt Car 358 Modifieds are green at Can-Am. Into 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. First time, Brian Hudson out in front. Nearly 3 wide back behind the top 3, but they got it straightened out to nearly single file into corner number 4. Scott Webb, Franklin Mackin dicing it up for a top 5 position early on, and it is going to be Brian Hudson in command of the field as they click off lap number 1. Nick Webb there for second, and behind them, Franklin Mackin all out of shape, loses 2 spots to Lance Willix and Derek Webb. Meantime, though, off of corner number 4, Brian Hudson in command of it as they bring it down into turn number 1 and 2. RJ Tercenter, Nick Webb, the top 3 as they motor down into turn number 1 and 2. Scott Webb there for 4th. Derek Webb completes the top 5. A good run for the Webb family early on here as they work into turn number 3 and 4 and across the line for lap number 3. Hudson still continues to show the way. He's opened up about a 6-car length advantage right now over the 21 of RJ Tercenter, the 27W Nick Webb, the 18 of Scott Webb, and Derek Webb right there in positions 3, 4, and 5 as they head down the front straightaway. Again, Brian Hudson continues to drive away from the field as the Webb family continues to go at it from third on back. Scott, Nick, and Derek, they're all knotted up together in a battle for a top 5 position as they motor down the backstretch with Lance Willix giving chase from the 6th spot, Billy Dunn 7th, Tyler Meeks is 8th, Tim Fuller 9th, and Franklin Mackin rounds out the top 10 as they work on lap number 5. And again, watching that battle between Derek and Nick Webb as they go at it for the 4 and 5 positions down the back straightaway. Derek with a feature win already this season. Nick trying to get to victory lane, pushes way wide up the hill, opens the door for Lance Willix to get into the top 5, and now Billy Dunn comes into the mix. So Dunn now making up some spots in the early going as they work in lap number 6 of this 25-lap contest, and Brian Hudson continues to show the way, winless so far in his Dirt Car 358 Modified career, but would love to change it here at Can-Am as he's got the spot. 7 down, 18 to go. Hudson there in the number 1 spot. RJ Tercenter, Scott Webb, Derek Webb, and Lance Willix, the top 5. Nick Webb 6th, Billy Dunn 7th, still Tyler Meeks in 8th, Fuller into 9th, and Dan Bichard occupies the number 10 position. Everybody pretty much single file, and Brian Hudson showing the fast way is on the bottom side of the speedway, although RJ Tercenter and Scott Webb are right there with him within a few car lengths as they head down the front straightaway, clicking off lap number 9. Brian Hudson has got a lot of wins in the Sportsman division. Been at this 358 Modified thing now for the last couple of seasons and has been in contention to win several races in his short Modified career already, but would love to get to victory lane here tonight. Behind the top 4, watching Lance Willix and Nick Webb battle for position. Nick Webb up on that outside lane. Got a good run going down the back straightaway, but Lance blocks the advances there into turn number 3 and 4, but Nick Webb's got a really good car up on that outside lane. He's trying to make up some ground here as they click off lap number 11. 11 down, Brian Hudson continues to show the way. Here's a battle for second right now between RJ Tercenter down the back straightaway. Scott Webb and Tercenter going after one another in corner number 3 and 4. Webb to the bottom, Tercenter up on the top side. They give the spot to Scott Webb by about a half a car length down the front straightaway. He'll clear Tercenter, and now he's going to bring Derek Webb with him to third. So R.J. Tresetter losing a couple of spots here, but he's going to regain the 3 spot back down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Hudson showing the way once again. Still the gap is stabilized at about 6 car lengths over Scott Webb as we continue to watch Derek Webb and R.J. Tresetter battle for position. And Lance Willix dives it into the corner. Behind them, a couple of the best in Can-Am Speedway history, Billy Dunn and Tim Fuller. 9 track championships and over 150 Can-Am feature wins in 358 and big block modified competition. As Billy Dunn moves by R.J. Tresetter to get to the top 5, we got Lucas Fuller around in corner number 1 and 2. Yellow lights are on at lap 14. Right now, 11 to go. Brian Hudson trying to park it in victory lane for the first time. Green lights back on, and away we go. And into corner number 1 and 2. Brian Hudson to the bottom. Scott Webb up on the top side. Scott Webb to the lead off of corner number 2. Down the back straightaway, Lance Willix has jumped to the 4 spot as Billy Dunn, Tim Fuller, and a host of others charging towards the front of the field in the late going. 10 to go, and Scott Webb has got the lead. Webb to the point in turn number 1 and 2 as Brian Hudson continues to show the way, or continues to ride in second rather. Lance Willix has gotten around Derek Webb. He's now up into third as they head up into turn number 3 and 4. Billy Dunn still 5th. Webb slides a little wide up off the turn. Derek, that is. And Billy Dunn's going to slide by to pick up position number 4 as Webb falls to 5th. Tim Fuller on the top side. He moves around the outside lane, drives by Derek Webb, so he'll move into the 5 spot. And we got a tangle on the back straightaway. R.J. Tresetter was 3 wide with Sean Shaw in the 9 of Tyler Meeks. Gets back on the racetrack, but loses a whole bunch of spots. And in the meantime, Lance Willix goes to the front. Positions are changing all over this racetrack in a hurry. Lance Willix just jumped around the 6 of Brian Hudson to move into 2nd. Tim Fuller drove around Billy Dunn to move to 4th. In the meantime, though, Scott Webb is driving away from everybody down in front at lap 18. Scott Webb looking to get to victory lane. Remember, it was almost a year ago to the day that Scott Webb won last year at Can-Am, but right now trying to get it back to victory lane, and Lance Willix is on the charge. Up to 2nd, Fuller slides by the 621 of Hudson to move to 3rd, and he is trying to go after the top 2. Tim Fuller well in line to win his 4th straight Whitesboro Plow Shop Dirt Car 358 Modified Track Championship. We got 5 laps left to go. He's got to try to get around Lance Willix and Scott Webb if he's going to do it. Into turn number 1 and 2 goes Scott Webb. He's got about 5 car lengths on Lance Willix. Tim Fuller driving the wheels off of this race car, trying to get to Lance Willix and get by for 2nd. Off of turn number 3 and 4, Scott Webb continuing to show the way. Webb with a strong race car right now. Willix still within striking distance. Fuller starting to knock the car lengths down here into turn number 3 and 4 as Lance Willix. He starts to close in. 3-car battle for the win with 3 laps left to go as they come back to the line. Here comes Willix with a try in turn number 1. Couldn't quite get there though. Loses a couple of car lengths on the exit of corner number 2 does Willix as they go into turn number 3 and 4. Willix drives it deep into the corner again that time. Makes up a lot of ground on Scott Webb, and Fuller closing the gap with 2 laps left to go. 2 remaining. Here comes Willix with a bit for the lead. Couldn't quite get there, though. Scott Webb knows he's there now, and Fuller watches from the 3 spot with Billy Dunn in 4th and Brian Hudson 5th. Down to turn number 3 and 4. We got caution on the racetrack. A car slowing to the top side of corner number 3 and 4. It's Franklin Mackin. Yellow lights are on, and this is going to set up a big finish here, and Scott Webb is going to have his hands full with Lance Willix and Tim Fuller. Pace truck heads to the safe haven of the pits off of turn number 3. Matt Burdick points over to turn number 4. That is where we're going to fire from. Scott Webb, Lance Willix, and Tim Fuller right there off of turn number 3 and 4. Back to green. Scott Webb got a great restart. Lance Willix trying to keep pace as they hit the back straightaway with Tim Fuller chasing from 3rd. White flag in the air, and Scott Webb knows this race is not over with whatsoever. And Derek Webb gets twisted around, spins it through to the infield. He's out of the way, and we will stay green. Checkered flag is waving this time by. Checkered in the air. Willix is going to give it a shot in turn number 3 and 4. It's not going to happen. Scott Webb is in victory lane again at Can-Am. Lance Willix, Tim Fuller, Billy Dunn, and Brian Hudson, your top 5. Check 1, 2. And there he is out of the car. How about it for Scott Webb, ladies and gentlemen? Gets the win. Green-white checkered finish. I know he kind of wanted this thing to go green right to the very end, but he beat 2 of the best to get it done.
Man, I'll tell you what, I've had so many times I was leading races. Caution comes out last. I don't know how it does it. You know what I mean? I was like, are you kidding me? I was hoping the tire wouldn't seal over, and luckily it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, you had a really good race car up until that point. I mean, the caution came out, and but racetrack was kind of conducive to your driving style. It was pretty good tonight.
It was racy. This is a brand new car. It's its first full race, honestly. I mean, we showed up last week late, ran at some laps, and obviously she's a runner.
It looks like a runner, too. It's fast, and it runs as good as it looks. It seems like it's an awesome race car for you right now.
Yeah, back corner looks like she could use some loving, but yeah.
Anybody you want to thank in this car? You know you got a great team and a great family behind you.
I got to thank the FX Capera guys. And again tonight, Billy Capera told me, get it done. Because I call him every Friday night. The guys at FX Honda. My boy Shane Doodle's going to kill me from North Country, Hearth and Home. He told me to call him before I come to the race. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot. You know, Brandon at Dig Race Shocks. Pat Morrison puts a hell of a motor together. Asphalt, Nordert, LaFlame, Fuels. You know, Norm at number 1 speed. There's just so much. And Randy Williamson from Bicknell. I mean, I called him. I said, we got this brand new car. I said, could you help? Give us a setup, somewhere to start. He's like, Scotty, I'm going to email it to you. And apparently it worked.
I guess it worked out pretty good. And it's been almost a year since you won. You won last August. Now you're back in victory lane. August must be your deal.
Yeah, it must be I run good in the heat. I don't know.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Yep, thank you so much.
All right, Scott Webb gets it done again. Well-deserved victory, his first of the season. And we are going to make somebody a little extra cash here tonight.